So I'm just gonna quickly cover something a little cool. So I found I'm gonna be using a port of Surf Utopia to S2's format, which is a VPK file instead of a BSP. I got this file from some YouTube video I just watched. I'm not sure who made it. I'm not sure where it came from, but that doesn't really matter at the moment to us. What matters is that we have some ramps and we have a surf map that's fairly familiar on the new game. And so we could use this to try to test out how the game feels on surfing. Obviously, your legs being shown is a bit odd, and obviously the surfing mechanic does work. I would argue it's actually a lot better than vanilla CSGO, just because it's 128 tick. But if we execute this config real quick that I've been kind of working on before CS2 even came out, really. What I was trying to do with that config was to try to bring some of GFL Surf's experience to CS2. Well, keyword some of that experience. So obviously, ramp glitches are a thing. CS Source 2 was unfortunately unable to patch that out. That's okay. It's not expected to be perfect by any means at the moment. There are a couple of flaws, but as of right now, something to keep in mind is that it does feel quite good. This is without plugins, without any intervention, without any byte patching, no modding, nothing like that. This is just vanilla CS2, vanilla settings with some modified configs, GFL's AirXL, GFL's a few other settings for movement. Try to make it feel as close to GFL as I could. Obviously, we're still on 128 tick though, so it's not exactly the same. That's something I'll be testing out very soon, maybe tomorrow, where I'll be setting up a dedicated server, and then trying to lock that to 85 tick, and see if I can try to get a little closer to the experience. A couple of other issues with this is obviously the ramp glitches. That's a good one. This config kind of makes it easier to restart. I think at the start of the video when I loaded up the map, it kind of showed that you wouldn't immediately restart, but here you kind of do. Map's not perfect, but that's okay. Your legs are still visible, which is a bit trippy, especially when you're doing like a pre-strafe and you're looking down. You see the person's legs and they look kind of weird and a little floppy, and it's kind of trippy. Other than that, couple of other issues as well. For example, if I were to try to jump on the spine, you can't really auto hop. For that matter, you can barely manual be up as well. It looks like scroll wheel hop on CS2 is a bit buggy. It's something that could be very easily replicated if you go to Dust 2 and then spam mouse wheel. You'll start bobbing up and down instead of jumping, which is clearly a bug that I assume will be fixed very soon. Another issue with this is if you bind a key to plus left and plus right, because of the game's current lack of controller support, this doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't turn bind. I'm actually hitting the key right now. It doesn't turn bind at all. But what it instead does is it effectively walks you to the left. And the same thing would happen with plus right, it would walk you to the right. I imagine this is something that'll be fixed when controller support is implemented into CS2. I have good faith that they'll do it, just because they'd probably want the game to be working on the Steam Deck. And so that's something we probably will get soon. Bunny hopping not working is a bit of a shame. The auto bunny hopping convar is set to true, and it is a thing that exists in the game, but it doesn't seem to be actually functional at the moment. Someone in the Allied Modders Discord, not sure, I don't really recall who, was able to byte patch a working auto bunny hop system into the game. So it's something that is definitely possible, and hopefully that is a bug considering the convar still exists, and hopefully Valve fixes that soon. Other than that, though, it's a fairly standard surf experience, and honestly, for I think what is it, day 2, day 3 of CS2, this is really promising. Purely because it hasn't even been a week yet. And right now we have functioning surf. That feels rather good other than the fucking ramp glitches. But hopefully that can be sorted out, and maybe we can, worst comes to worst, maybe that can be sorted out with mapping. Maybe with the new mapping tools as well. Maybe. Who knows? We'll have to find out. I'm getting very unlucky with that ramp glitch there. But for the most part, it's rather cool. What I'm going to test next is probably going to be to try to get an 85 ticks dedicated server running. And then try to see if we can make the experience feel a little closer to GFL. Right now, as it stands, this config does all of the basic shit. You have a time limit at the top, works as intended. We have, if configured, at the end of the match, it will pop up a map vote, which you can choose from maps in the map cycle. Hopefully, it'll offer some SOF maps on there. That'll be very cool. We also have all talk and all that kind of stuff enabled, so, GFL beginner and stuff like that, people will still be able to talk freely and all that kind of stuff. Very positive outcome, I think, purely just because plugins aren't a thing. Modding isn't a thing at the moment. And we're already looking pretty good, in my opinion, especially with the feeling of the game. It just feels so good in vanilla. It's unreal, in my opinion, how good it feels in vanilla without any plugins and stuff. Feels really, really good. Makes me feel really, really positive about what's to come next. But yeah, that's about it.